Joe Rogan, the podcast titan with a voice that carries further than a megaphone in a canyon, has found himself at the center of a cultural and legal firestorm. It's not just a spat, it's a seismic clash that's rattling the media landscape like a kettlebell dropped mid-swing. The View, that daytime juggernaut where 5 hosts sip ego-laced coffee and toss opinions like confetti, crossed a line. They didn't just poke the bear, they accused it of starting forest fires. Now, Rogan's hitting back with a $100 million defamation lawsuit so massive it feels like it deserves its own cage fight commentary. This isn't just a courtroom showdown, it's the messiest crossover since reality TV crashed into politics, a chaotic collision of influence, accountability, and the slippery line between free speech and reckless mic swinging. Picture Rogan for a moment, maybe deep in the jungle on an ayahuasca retreat, eyes sharp, decoding the universe's secrets. Or perhaps he's back home, tossing back an elk meat smoothie, mid-kettlebell swing, primal as ever. The man's built an empire on raw conversations, part philosopher, part MMA guru, part verbal punching bag for media elites. For years, The View's hosts, Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, Sarah Haynes, and Alyssa Farah Griffin, have taken shots at him, painting him as everything from a misinformation peddler to a danger to society. They've rolled their eyes with seismic force, delivered holier-than-thou sermons, and tossed accusations like they're auditioning for a scandal parade. Rogan. He didn't engage. No tweets, no guest appearances, no care packages of elk jerky. He stayed silent, letting the noise bounce off his rawhide thick skin. Until now. The View operates in a peculiar ideological bubble, a table where unchecked opinions drown out logic like a foghorn at a library. It's a show that thrives on viral clips, hate-watching, and a fanbase that ranges from devoted to immobile. They bring on token conservative women, think Meghan McCain or Elizabeth Hasselbeck, only to yell over them, silence them, and move on. It's less a discussion than a performance, a rabid henhouse where headlines are skimmed, and expertise is claimed with the confidence of a toddler wielding a crayon. Yet, somehow, this panel of self-appointed oracles decided Rogan was their next target. Big mistake. It wasn't one comment that lit the fuse. It was a pattern, a relentless campaign of jabs that escalated into something far uglier. They accused Rogan of spreading misinformation, of being a societal menace, of believing in dragons, for crying out loud. Joy Behar, with her trademark smirk, leaned into the dragon bit like it was a gotcha moment, while Whoopi dropped her classic, "It's just our opinion" defense, as if that's a legal invisibility cloak. Sunny Hostin, ever the armchair lawyer, tossed in some courtroom lingo she might have skimmed during a lunch break. Sarah Haynes chimed in with the kind of vague moralizing that sounds profound until you realize it's empty. Alyssa Farah Griffin, the newest addition, tried to keep up, but the vibe was clear. Rogan was the villain, and they were the heroes saving America's airwaves. Here's the thing, Rogan didn't just sit there. He lawyered up. And when Joe Rogan lawyers up, it's not a polite letter on scented stationery. It's a legal SWAT team armed with receipts, transcripts, video clips, and side-by-side breakdowns that make The View's commentary look like fiction on fire. The lawsuit, filed with a $100 million price tag, isn't about bruised feelings or a roasted buzz cut. This is about business. Rogan's empire, his $200 million Spotify deal, his 11 million listeners per episode, his brand as the internet's truth-hunting everyman, took a hit. When you go on national TV and label someone a danger to society, you're not just bantering. You're sabotaging contracts, credibility, and a multi-million-dollar throne. That's not journalism. That's negligence. The View's hosts thought they were untouchable, cloaked in the soft glow of daytime TV. ABC's airtime isn't a legal shield, though, and Disney's legal machine knows it. The moment news of the lawsuit broke, the studio went quiet. Joy Behar, usually quick with a quip, stared blankly like someone hit pause on her brain. Whoopi mumbled something about opinions, but the confidence was gone. Sunny's contour was sweating bullets. Sarah looked like she regretted every headline she'd ever skimmed. Alyssa, the rookie, probably wished she'd stayed on Twitter. Behind the scenes, ABC execs were in full panic mode, tossing around words like retraction and clarification while praying this wouldn't go to trial. Disney's legal team hit red alert, racing into emergency meetings, likely asking one question: did we just say something that could cost us the GDP of a small country? The internet, predictably, lost its mind. Rogan's fans turned Reddit into a digital coliseum, with threads titled Joe Rogan vs. The View. Let the bodies hit the floor. Memes flew like shurikens. Whoopi clutching a live, laugh, love mug while dodging legal papers. Joy Behar Googling defamation laws in a panic. Twitter became a battlefield. Team Rogan dropping receipts and one-liners while The View's defenders fumbled for a comeback. YouTube comments morphed into think tanks, spitting out more citations than half the legacy press. Even TikTok got in on the action, with Gen Z stitching clips of The View's worst takes alongside Rogan's smirking takedowns. The irony. Both sides waved the free speech flag, just from opposite ends of the arena. One crying censorship, the other shouting defamation. Rogan didn't stop at the lawsuit. He took to his podcast, the most listened-to platform on the planet, and dismantled The View's claims with surgical precision. No yelling, no sweat, just pure, unbothered efficiency. He played their clips, broke down their accusations, and countered with facts, those pesky things that seem to take an extended vacation from daytime TV. His signature smirk, the one that says, "I bench press more truth in one episode than you churn out in a season," was practically audible. He didn't just respond. He obliterated, step by step, take by take, in a 3-hour verbal cage match that left The View's brunch energy in tatters. His fans ate it up, flooding Reddit with threads longer than legal depositions, each one dissecting the drama like digital watchdogs on a caffeine bender. This isn't just Joe versus a talk show. It's a gut check for media responsibility. For years, The View has flirted with facts, tossing out accusations under the guise of light entertainment. They mock, they moralize, they play courtroom without the court. And when someone pushes back, it's all, "We're just chatting over coffee." Don't take it so seriously. But there's harm when you smear reputations in front of millions. The "we're just talk show hosts" defense collapses faster than a reality star's marriage under pressure. Rogan's lawsuit isn't just payback, it's a warning shot, a blaring siren that the age of consequence-free commentary might be screeching to a halt. The days of slinging half-baked narratives and expecting silence in return? They're numbered. Let's talk about The View's track record. This is the same show that once, in all seriousness, debated whether the Earth is flat. They've drifted into historical revisionism like it's just another side dish, rewriting narratives mid-episode while sipping oat milk lattes. They've accused Rogan of everything short of starting the apocalypse, all without a shred of proof. It's not like they brought receipts, just volume, a scattershot of hot takes with the stability of a Jenga tower in a windstorm. And when Rogan clapped back, they were stunned, shocked that someone with both the fury and the evidence finally hit back. Whoopi's "it's just our opinion" line. It's not a legal invisibility cloak. Once your opinion hits millions, it's influence with real-world consequences. No evidence. That's not free speech. That's a legal time bomb. The lawsuit specifics are brutal. Rogan's legal team didn't just show up with hurt feelings. They brought proof, transcripts, clips, timestamps, that The View's accusations weren't thoughtful critiques but reckless brand arson. They argued that the host's claims could derail contracts, tank credibility, and shake Spotify's faith in Rogan's empire. It's not about him getting roasted for his caveman vibe or buzz cut. It's about business sabotage, plain and simple. Spotify loves controversy, but not when it smells like liability. Rogan's team laid it out. This wasn't loose talk. It was actionable, damaging, and fully provable. The View's response? A masterclass in dramatic confusion. Joy looked like someone cancelled her wine club. Sunny dove into legal jargon like she'd binged a season of Law and Order. Whoopi doubled down on the opinion defense, oblivious to the fact that opinions don't get a free pass when they're broadcast to millions. Sarah and Alyssa scrambled for coherence, but the damage was done. ABC's corporate statement was predictably bland. "We are aware of the matter and are currently reviewing our legal options." Translation: we're praying this doesn't go to trial. A trial would be a circus, with Rogan's team playing clips of The View's worst moments to a jury while the hosts squirm. Disney knows the score. The safer move? Settle quietly, stroke a massive check, and hope the news cycle moves on. But the damage is already done. The View didn't just throw shade at some random guy. They aimed at a global voice with millions of loyal fans and a mic bigger than most networks. Rogan's audience treats Reddit like a courtroom and every podcast like gospel. When you swing at someone whose fans can out-research half the press, you better be bulletproof. The View wasn't. Their accusations were flimsy, their evidence non-existent, their confidence misplaced. Now, they're staring down a legal tsunami that could redefine how media operates. This saga is a cultural collision, a face-off that's about to draw a line between opinion, influence, and character assassination. We're in an age where TV hosts and influencers hold more sway than lawmakers, and when a talk show lobs serious accusations like they're swapping brunch gossip, the question becomes, where's the line, and who's drawing it? Rogan's lawsuit, whether you see him as a truth-hunting warrior or a walking protein shake, is forcing a reckoning. Can a show call someone dangerous without proof and skate by? If Rogan even half wins, the ripple effects will hit hard. YouTubers, TikTokers, Twitter flamethrowers, they'll all start second-guessing their spicy takes. Captions might come with fine print, allegedly, "Please don't sue me." The game could change, and everyone with a mic should be watching. There's a poetic irony here. The View, a show that demands accountability from every public figure with a pulse, is now ducking behind the flimsy, "we were just talking" defense. Surprise, defamation lawsuits are real, and they just made Rogan's playlist. The silence that followed the lawsuit's announcement was deafening. ABC's studio turned into a mix of Real Housewives drama and a corporate compliance meeting spiraling out of control. Whispers flew about retractions, apologies, maybe a teary sit-down where someone clutches a mug and fakes inner peace. Nothing's confirmed, but insiders say execs are floating an on-air clarification. Networks speak for, "We're not admitting guilt, but please don't bankrupt us." Rogan, meanwhile, is probably shirtless, sipping bone broth or mushroom tea, watching the chaos like it's just another episode in his content queue. He's not filming teary TikToks or begging for sympathy. He's coming back with Spotify millions, courtroom receipts, and podcast takedowns that leave reputations smoking. The message is clear: come at him with lies, and don't expect a pity party. Expect a lawsuit and a verbal dismantling in 4K. The View thought they were coasting on political righteousness. Instead, they're in a legal cage match with a guy who trains for cage matches. The public's eating it up like gourmet popcorn. Rogan's fans are dissecting every clip, meme, and thread, while The View's defenders scramble to walk back the fallout. This isn't just a media spat, it's the main event. And the crowd isn't clapping, they're reaching for more popcorn. Will this go to court? Maybe. But Disney's execs know dragging this out only amplifies the noise. A quiet settlement is likely, but the cultural impact is already seismic. The View's days of slinging reckless claims and expecting silence are over. Rogan's lawsuit is a reminder. In the era of viral receipts and instant backlash, even the loudest TV voices need to think before they speak. One slip, one wild claim, and you're the headline. And Rogan? He's grinning, mic in hand, ready for the next round.